Welcome to this video series of interviews from different companies. And in all the series, we are discussing about the interviews and the process, which are either cracked by me or somebody else who wants to stay anonymous. But there is enough proof gathered that this interview is genuine, which I'll show you in this video also. And also, there is a note that all the answers discussed here are mostly correct. And I will explain both the perspectives, like what is the actual answer given by the interviewee and what is the most correct answer if that is not correct. And also, if you found that there is another most closest answer to what is discussed in this video, you can mention it in your comment section, and I will take it from there and update in the description section so that everybody else who watches the video, they'll know the updated and correct answers. Then
Years of ages. So I started my career as a system testing engineer into an Honeywell Private Limited. So there I was working as a testing engineer, and mostly the role and responsibility were handled by me was like preparation of test harnesses, then test case execution, then just I was a part of some EMC testings and the configuring the all entire system. So that was basically our EPK system, it's an HMI and ECS system. Then I was into also a product testing. So which product we were handling, like it was a HVAC system, like it was a gas detector system, then it was a alarms and notification system. So this is what certain products what I have came across during my system testing.
Mhm.
So after that, so I worked there for around 2.5 years. So after that, I got opportunity to work with the Infocon Private Limited.
Mhm.
So I was joined as their testing lead engineer. So mainly I was looking into the testing activities plus guiding the respective team members with the testing activities. So
Mhm.
how they should follow, what is their commitment, and how what is the total of the workload should be. And then I also making some the resource allocation, like just managing the capacity of the team, means how which
Mhm.
product we have to take on priority, like it's a product scaling and managing the capacity, then updating the status to our stakeholders. Hey, we have completed this, and what does the release means? What are the defects we basically critical defects we found?
Mhm.
And I also have discussion and sync up call with the stakeholders regarding some brainstorming of some feature of basically some of the new features. Okay,
Mhm.
so I was into more into discussion like that, brainstorming. So after that, I worked on for 4.5. After that, our the initially we was working as into a waterfall model. Then we just tried to shift into an agile model. So there, as I was a great learner, I'm just continuous improvement. So I got an opportunity to work as a Scrum Master there.
Mhm.
So around more than 4.5, so I was working at the currently I'm working as a Scrum Master here. So
Mhm.
I'm handling around the five. We have to the 5 members unit. I'm currently right now.
Mhm. So is yours a product development team or it's a service team?
So it's a service team, but actually we get information from our client, but we
Mhm.
are into development also.
Okay.
But we just need a confirmation from client side also.
Mhm.
We are into developing. Yeah, it's kind of developing also, and we just provide the service also there for
Mhm.
maintenance and all. Yeah.
Okay, right. Mm, got it.
So
So,
right now it's a industrial application. What we are customized industrial application. What I'm working currently, my project is.
mhm. So technically, did you work on any tools, or are you into automation? Or let's talk about your technical expertise. Which
So
technologies you
technical
worked?
expertise, I basically into in industrial automation. So
Mhm.
so I was basically dealing with all what is the HMI and configuration, then what is the logic into the PLC, how to configure the logic, then downloading the logic, then interfacing with different with the different devices into an
Mhm.
entire plant.
Mhm.
So is how we can, means it's that's the testing is all related to all is how the particular device is communicating with the different protocols at an industrial level. So
Mhm.
just tracking that what is the their bits bytes all into a tool. Okay, just we are managing is how the framework is getting transferred correctly or not. Then
Mhm.
we also dealing with their like firmware testing, and so what firmware we are updating. Okay, so after firmware is updated, so it's is that device is working correctly or not. So it's purely into an automation type and taking automation. Okay, so I worked on some of the automation tool like an auto IT. So
Mhm.
it was so it was a VB script based. So it was basically we are dealing with the testing of an HMI application which required most of the UI interface.
Mhm.
So that's why we just tried to some of the R&D there, and we have successfully done like a scripting for that particular HMI application. So
Mhm.
where we just configure all the HMI with that help of that application.
Mhm.
So I also worked on some two industrial tool like National Instrument. Okay, so that was basically dealing with like how to automate all the configuration of uh, configuration of modules.
Mhm.
So because we were having the n numbers of modules and they were related, they have different set points and all what set points related to all, what the threshold of alarms and faults. So it's for manual, it's just something, it's exhaustive type. So we
Okay.
just try to implement and we were successfully done with that and instrumentation.
Mhm.
Yeah,
So
in
this
one of the
product,
project I also used load runner also.
yeah,
Yeah, for
this
load
product
testing.
you are talking about, it is completely an industrial product, not like an
Right.
application that we deal with normally.
Yes, right.
Okay.
So yeah, so initially from Honeywell side it was a automation, I mean industrial level, and but
Mhm.
right now what we are testing it's also an industrial application, but it's a desktop application.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
So
that yeah, so we are dealing with that all the application, right?
yeah, right, right. Have you ever worked in using Java or any REST API experience using REST Assured or Postman? Have you been into that area?
So no, Azure and DevOps, I can say right,
Mm-hmm.
currently we are using a DevOps for this. What we are building so continuously integration and development. So we are using Azure DevOps there. So we just have our build. Okay, it's they are just updating the build, and we just write another build and just process the testing, and it's get released to our on-site production. So it's a continuous integration for this. Yeah.
Okay. So what is the project management tool that you are using?
So right now we have started using Jira, but initially we were using a Right. The Right we were using. The Right is a good tool for a project management. We use and we are provided from. Sorry.
But currently it is Jira.
Right. Yes.
Okay. And in Jira, like, do you use Kanban boards or is it Scrum, Agile? What is it? Your project actually?
So actually, our project is both. It means we are using Scrum also and Kanban also. So when we want to we have entirely a new project, we start with the Scrum. Okay. So when it's entire is done and it is related to our on-site. So after that, we get some issues like into the warranty period or some additional issue we get. So at that time, we just follow a Kanban because the scale of requirement is not that much high. We just get some few. So that's why we continue the Kanban during the on-site while dealing with the on-site production issues.
Okay, in Azure DevOps also you have this. In Azure DevOps also you have these boards, right, where you can manage the product. Like you can create boards.
Just like on. We have, but just because right now the team has got practice to it, so that's why we are not still using it, but we are trying to do it. Yeah, but we have that idea that we have all Scrum is all frameworks there, Scrum so we can add backlog there. Yeah, but again, it's not only it's like that team should get habitual to it. So that's we are trying to accommodate all in once. It will be more better than so we are trying there.
So basically, you're using Azure DevOps just for the CI/CD part.
Right. Yes. Right.
Anything else you use the Azure DevOps for in your project?
No, it's basically, and so they are using a repository or they're using for GitHub. They're using a repository, not that.
Okay, for repository, you're using again separately a GitHub.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
So that's also it's entirely development. So I'm just dealing with development. Yeah, so it's a development.
Okay, do you have a separate DevOps team, or is it like the developers themselves are managing
it? We don't have separate teams.
Okay, so it's the developers, they themselves do the CI/CD pipeline also.
Right. Yes.
Okay. Is there any deployment process that is followed, or any formal team for that, or that is also just taken care by the developers?
Yeah, means actually we have one of our take our side guy. Okay, he just satisfied what will be the install dates and all. So he just take care of all installation process, and we just so sometimes it happens that if the site is not accessible or something, so he just manage by going to the onsite, and because as it's an application, okay, so we are flawlessly well able to handle through remote also.
Okay. So yeah. How many members are of your team?
So currently we have 5 members in our team.
Okay, 5 including you, who are Scrum Master. You are Scrum Master for the team.
Yes, right. Scrum Master, product owner, and 3 developers.
Okay, 3 developers, you, Scrum Master, and product owner.
Yes, right.
Okay, that's a client project, right? I mean, you have a client.
Yes, right. Yeah, I have a client from US. Yeah.
Okay, so the requirement, does it comes from the client, or it's like you define the requirement?
No, actually, client define the requirements. So they have the product owner discuss with the client, so they just come up with some requirements. So what they want. So and the product owner just write a test cases for us. So if sometimes this happens, he just delegate the task to our respective team members. If they have more knowledge or they have more knowledge about that particular feature or function, if they are already worked on it, so they try to refine all. If it is they are worked on that before, so at that time only, as he delegates the task to developer.
Okay, fine. So when a project starts, right, when a new project starts, so what are the activities that occur in the project? Like what would be the list of first 4 activities that shall happen for a project to start?
So first of all, right now we just plan for our sprint. Okay, we just get requirements. Okay, so before planning the product owner come with a list of requirements. So these are the requirements and these are the prioritized one, and we have to deliver these of the requirements into our sprint. So this sprint, so how it is valuable. So we have to deliver these of the features to our current sprint. So once, so we just have a brainstorming activities there. So during sprint planning. So once we So once it is done, okay, we just estimate the story point. So depend on what is the criticality of that particular user story, and we just estimate the story point for that. And when the story point is estimated, so we just assign a story to a respective, that is we can say a developer, right? So right now it's developer. So after that, we just if the story points can be divided further into a different task, okay, we just divide around the different people among the teams, okay, just to make sure that so this is the priority and we should able to complete for what we have completed. So after that, assigning the task, they just assign what will be the time required for the respective feature to be what will be the time required for the particular task. So and this everything is done with the define a sprint goal with the mutual consideration of with the product owner. Hey, this is our sprint goal and this is what we will be trying to achieve by the end of the sprint.
Okay, right. So what will be the responsibilities of product owner?
Yeah, the foremost responsibilities is for maximizing the value of product, right? So it just makes sure that it should provide just means product goals should be very clear and precise. So it should not have some hidden impacts like if once it is said that this is what we have to work out, and sometimes it's happened that we get some unnecessary work which were hidden initially and we come to know later. So at that time, the product owner should be very transparent while reviewing, and he should prioritize the items also very correctly.
Okay.
So this is
Yeah, got it. Okay. So you said that you do handle resource allocation also, right?
right. Yes.
So can you explain that part? Like, for example, okay, you got a piece of work and you planned for this coming 2 sprints. Okay, there is this piece of work that you're going to do, but somehow it happened this way that the work is sort of not coming in like with what you planned accordingly. So it happened that suddenly the work got dropped, but you have people, I mean, a part of your team, and potentially they may not have any work to do because it got either postponed or it got decommissioned, the particular features which you guys have planned to work on. So in that case, I mean, what do you do? How do you
So
align the
right now,
resources?
yeah, I got it. Yeah. So actually, what currently we sometimes face, okay, we are getting some of the work, okay, so but due to some issue or something, okay, we are just unable to continue work. So and sometimes we happen to come up with some refinement activity, so we can refine some of the user story on the future sprint, or we also try to work on some of the backlogs item like some of the which are technical depth, okay, so which has been getting it has been passed to a next sprint. So and that is not that much a priority, but it's a valuable which can create a value in your further sprint. So we just try to complete that task in the meantime. So like some code review activities also we just plan that code review activities means how we can be a more productive in this case. Yeah. So it's not that we are wasting time, but we are utilizing the time in the best way. Right.
Yeah. Okay. And what are the agile principles and Scrum values?
So agile principle. Okay. So there are 12 agile principles. Yeah. So okay. So let's be recall how much I can recall. So there are 12 principles. Like first is the foremost important is that customer satisfaction is one of the most important principle I can say. Then second is that we have to welcome the changing requirements. Okay, so and after that is the business people and developers should communicate continuously with each other. Then face-to-face communication is always best way to deal with any software. And then we have to release the software very frequently. Okay, so that we can get a continuous feedback and we can act promptly on that. So and further, if we have to what the product has been realized, so it should be it should it should be made a technical excellence. Okay, it should be a technical excellence, and the product should be a sustainable product. Okay, and then further I can say the product should be technical excellence, and further we should keep it as simple. Okay, it should not into more complexity that we will unable to debug that further. So we have to keep the software simple as possible.
Yeah. Okay, that's fine.
Further, yes.
Need not all the time. Basically, wanted to see.
Yeah, 1 or 2 is that it should be a self-organized team. Further, yeah.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah. Okay. So, did you work on metrics?
Yeah, metrics. We are following few of the metrics like it's both for a quality and quantity purpose also. For example, if we want to calculate some what is we come up with so what is your efficiency also. So that's time we use an efficiency metric. So we said so what we just calculate what is the value added and plus not value added. So we just calculate what is an efficiency. And we also deal with so burn down chart. So at the sprint level we use that burn down chart also. So to track what is the progress of our current sprint, how much of the story point is completed and so. Yeah,
okay, you're talking about measuring the efficiency, right? How do you measure the efficiency of your team?
So so we actually measure the efficiency on the basis of right now we are allocating like 7.5 hours. So we just calculate what is how much is efficient. Okay, the resources are efficient. Okay, plus means at what amount of hours it is a value adding is adding some value. So we just calculate value added plus non-value added hours and we just into 100. So it just gives us the efficiency of our is value added divided by value added plus non-value added into 100. So there we get efficiency for that.
Okay, what are the other metrics? You talk about burn down chart. So what is the burn down chart?
So in burn down chart, actually we basically get how much of the story we have completed. So it just gives an overview. So how much is completed and how much we have to still needed to get complete.
Okay, how much of work means like how do you measure?
Amount of the story point completed.
Okay.
This is the story point. So it's x-axis is sprint or we say y-axis is the story point. So it just give and doing the burn down chart, the graph will fall, which should be a downward trend. So, so from there we can measure directly how much the story point got completed.
Okay, right. And you're talking about story points, right? Can you define story point? Like how do you explain story point to somebody who doesn't know what is a story point?
So I mean story point is the unit of measurement. Okay, the story point is a unit of measurement and it depends on the various factors like what is an effort, So what is one second, just because I'm getting that pop-up of starting, that's why I'm very worried right now. So it will shut down at 6:03.
Okay.
Yeah. So the story point. So we just calculate story point on the basis of what is the risk and what is the complexity. So on basis of that, we just define a story point. And on what is an effort required. So it depends on the three factors: risk, effort, and complexity.
Risk, effort, and complexity. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. If I give you a feature, right, you will. I mean, when you say that effort in terms of hours, huh? That is how you're talking.
Yes, right. Means effort means we will have some benchmark. Okay. From with what is if we were similar story points. If the similar story we have concluded initially, so how much story point we have gave it before. So by considering the mode of reference, so we just provide that part.
Okay, if you have a reference, that is how you do it. But let's say that's the first time you're giving an effort. So how do you come up with your story point? Like, one story point means what? For somebody who doesn't know, I mean, if there is a new person coming into your team, right, and they're entirely new and they have to work on something, and you wanted to explain him about the story point. Okay, for this feature, you say that okay, it will take 4 story points. He may not understand it, right? So how do you explain it to him that okay, how do you tell that okay, this is actually taking 4 story points, and how does he supposed to understand what does 4 story points means?
So initially, it will all depend on what is the understanding of is based on that feature and function. So so it will depend on that. Okay. So initially, we will just try to have some relative estimations for that. It will not go to entire precise with the help of some estimation technique like t-shirt sizing, and also we can have some relative estimation for that. So he will not very precise for that, but he will be very close to that, and we will make sure that is if it is continuing the next, if we find the similar story into the next, so he will ultimately he will get to the situation and he will able to identify. So what I committed before and what I'm committing now. So initially he will require some time. He will estimate some of the more as compared to one who are some senior members. So rather to the time as the time passes, he will get idea of that, and he will come to a precise estimation.
Okay, for your sprint, like how do you estimate your sprint? So at the beginning of a sprint, you might wanted to decide what is going into the current sprint, right? So that again depends on your resources, how they are occupied, and how do you decide that? Is there an estimation technique that you use that okay for this sprint we are going to target to consume 10 story points or 20 story points, or if the feature is coming to you, how do you guys decide that it is going to take any estimation techniques you follow?
So estimate, but right now what we are following it's a 2 week sprint only because we have so we have that much of sufficient story points to be accommodated into that particular sprint. So we are strictly dealing with that 2 week sprint only. But it again depends on what is an efforts is okay. Means it happens that sometimes we get the resources are not, but we just plan accordingly to what is an efforts and what is an velocity, and after that we conclude that what will be the number of iteration it will be required. So after that calculation, we basically come around at 2 or 3 sprint is required. So just we try to come up with the 2 week sprint on basis of that. So this is what ideal situation is for us. So yeah, we're trying to accommodate this in the sprint.
Okay, and what is part of your sprint planning? What do you do in sprint planning?
So during sprint planning means in our case, what the product owner just explains so why and what of the project. Okay, so we just make sure that okay the development team is entirely they know what he's explaining, and we are into sync with what the product owner is saying to us. Okay, so once they understand what is their requirement and what we have to deliver, okay, we just take that story point. As I think we have discussed before also. So we just commit that story once we are know why and what of the. We just commit assign that a story point to a particular user story. If the story point is already we have assigned the story point that particular into a refinement, so there it is not needed. If it is not done, we just assign the story point for that. And after that, we reallocate to a particular resource in the terms of tasks or into a subtask part, and we just assign what will be the hours required for that completion. So once it is done, okay, we just commit. Okay, so this will be this will be our goal and what we are planning to be delivering to this sprint.
Okay, and what are the sprint ceremonies? There are many ceremonies that are involved in a sprint, right?
Right.
What are those?
Yeah, there are 5 ceremonies because it's ceremony we have it's currently called events. So initially it was called ceremonies, so now it's there. So it starts from sprint, then it's a sprint. We say the sprint planning, then we have daily scrum, then review and retrospective. Yeah.
When does retrospective happen? Sprint retrospective.
When
do we do sprint retrospective meeting?
So we basically run this retrospective of the end of the sprint to make sure that how we have done with this current sprint. It's mostly dealing with the process interaction on tools. Is how we can improvise our any process improvise or what addition is what we can try to improve over the process. What additional tools we might require to increase our speed of productivity also. So it's a basically interaction among the Scrum team members to how we can be more productive.
What is sprint zero? Is there anything called sprint zero?
Yeah, the sprint zero is some of the team members purpose, but we are not using. But they are basically the Sprint Zero is used basically for sometimes there are some documentation kind of work is required. So and some infrastructure to get infrastructure get into place while when some people are starting project from scratch. Okay, they might require some infrastructure to be in place. So at that time, the handle is a Sprint Zero, and some compliance or documentation is required to continue the formalities. We consider it as Sprint Zero. It's not we are not practicing it.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
How do you trace your requirements?
So trace the requirements. Right now, okay, we are just creating what. So we are not tracing right now. We have a product owner. Okay, so we just have some RTM matrix. Okay, requirement traceability matrix. Where he just map that particular user story with that particular requirements. And this is here. So this RTM, what is a report form that RTM matrix?
The PO holds it, huh?
Right. Yeah.
Okay, only the user stories come to you, and you guys work on the user stories.
Yes, right.
Okay. So do you guys see the requirement documentation as a whole, or is it like you will just get the documents related to the user story?
Yeah, because it's not always. Most of the time we get user story directly only, but if we are not into very confirmed with that feature and function, and if we find something fishy, sometimes it's not getting clear. Also, it's not clear. So at that time we go for document with the product owner. Hey, we are not clear with this requirement. Can we get some document for this for our further reference? Then he provides us what is the scope of work document for us. So we just maintain that scope of work into a needs.
So you develop the product. So your team. Okay, does your team has any? Okay, you said that you have PO, Scrum Master, and 2 developers, 3 developers.
Right. 3. Right.
That's all your team.
Right.
Okay.
Yes,
Is there any QA?
Means
I lost your voice.
Hello.
Yeah, now it is fine. Now it is fine.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, we are talking
so
about
actually,
QA.
development team also perform the QA part also. From among that, the 3 members, so one is only responsible for testing activity, but he also dealing with the development one. But he is mostly into the testing background, so we basically deal with the testing. And sometimes if the testing scope is high, so at that time, as a team is very cross-functional here, so they just have that respective team member for that testing. So we are making it sync everything. So means everyone has everything on it.
Yeah.
Mostly, yeah. One member is very particular to a testing point.
Is there security testing that happens ever in your product? Security testing, performance testing?
No, currently not. We are dealing with it. Currently in project, we are not having a security testing and all.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, that's fine. So you worked on many different domains, huh? Finance, insurance, law, and engineering. So the current one is it engineering? If I'm not wrong.
Yes, right. It's an engineering kind of. So we get some engineering. So yeah.
Okay, did you work on any automation? Did you use any automation tools? I understand that you used Auto ID for your product.
Right.
But is there any other tools like Selenium, Rest Assured, or SOAP?
No, the current organization I have not.
It doesn't suit, right?
Yeah, it doesn't suit because it's very
industrial
critical application. Yeah, the industrial and the risk is very high. Yes.
Are there any industrial automation tools apart from Auto ID?
Yeah, there are different tools like while to reduce our work, like we have a compare like a tool, and we just we also use tool like merge on and all to compare the different files. But it's not like what we use in the software part. It's not that much advanced in the industry because we have to deal with different protocols and all. So it's not compatibility issue comes here.
Okay, you guys are implementing CI/CD, right, in your project?
Right. Yes.
Okay, so can you explain that flow, like how it actually happens? So you have the repository which is maintained on the Git.
So right now what we are using is into Git. So actually we have the development team as a development team. Okay, just try if there is a feature of function, they just accommodate that all the feature and function into a build. Okay, so once it is built, okay, we just try to integrate if there is a changes in build. Okay, if there is any change in the code base or any that make changes in common libraries. So we just try to integrate. We just try to integrate, and we have a certain set of our automated tests we the developer runs just to make sure they are what we are integrating correctly or not. So again, so once it is built, okay, they just release for the developer for testing activity. So once it is tested, we just deploy it into the onsite. So once it is deployed in the onsite, we just make sure that current build is working correctly or not. And if not, we just provide some more RTLs and all we just provide fixes directly onto the onsite. Okay. So and we just have the backup of that onsite and we just check it into the Git again. So whatever is required so that the onsite guy can take up directly from a DevOps. So it's like a continuous because we get the continuous issues from a production and also that's why it's required.
Okay. So, right. You said there is no separate DevOps team, right?
Right. No.
Right. Okay. By the way, what are the technologies that you guys use for this product? Like, is it built on Java, advanced concepts of Java? Is it a .NET?
So right now we are using a .NET technology they are using. Yeah.
Okay, when you're talking about build, like what is it? Is it a package that you're talking about?
Yeah, so its build is it is an entirely package only. So it's depend. Okay, if we are releasing entirely new feature and function, we will have a single build. Okay, and if it gets the issues from site, okay, what we will take, we will grab that build from an onsite. We will check in into that. We will already have that onsite build into our DevOps. So we will just provide that build also plus this additionally installation package also. So then we will once it is released, the tester will deploy that installation package onto that existing build. Okay, and we will test that particular feature. So it is kind of I think it's kind of patches what we can say. So during that time. So build is entire. It can be a single build also. It can be a multiple build also. So you getting means what?
Yeah, yeah, I understand.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, thanks.
Okay. So yeah, that's all from my side. I mean, if you have any questions, you can ask.
Yeah, means what project you are basically dealing with? Yeah, from your side means how the team structure and what framework you're following there means.
Yeah, yeah. Project wise, I'm not sure. This is an open position. So, but for this is for the skill of Scrum Master, and also a little bit on Azure experience or Azure experience.
Okay, right.
That's all about the role.
Okay, yeah, means that I'm not using most of the for us it's very much because we are dealing with continuously integration and deployment. So
yeah, right. So, okay. I mean, one last question: did you guys? I mean, are you involved in building the CI/CD from the scratch, or you are just running a team as a Scrum Master?
So currently I'm just handling the team.
Okay, right.
Yeah. So because it's not that much into technicality.
Yeah, yeah, right. I got it.
Yeah. Yes.
So I mean, as a Scrum Master, we don't have to deal with that part. I got it. Just want to understand whether you have that additional skill. Yeah. Okay, Amit. Yeah, that's all.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thanks. Nice talking to you.
Yeah. Thank you. Same to you.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, bye.
Yeah. Same, bye.
If you like this video, please like it and share it to your friends. Also, if you wanted to see more content like this, please do subscribe to this channel and also spread the word to your friends. And if you miss any of the videos, you can refer to this channel and also you can refer to this blog which is given below, which is forwardstyles.blogspot.com. And also, if you wanted to contribute your knowledge through wider audience, you can join us by writing it to this given email, which is sharetesttube@gmail.com. And also, if you have any doubts on any of the videos, again, you can write to us over sharetesttube@gmail.com. Thank you for watching this video.